Hello and welcome to the Donna Show. This is your host, DJ Donna, and we are back with another amazing artist. He is the brainchild of Delhi based producer, known for his distinctive and varied electronic psychedelic sounds, playing his first ever DJ set in 1998. It has been a long, evolving journey, as he is best known for his melodic and cutting edge morning progressive psytrance and his unstoppable energy on the console. In 2016 2017, he has been ranked among the top 3 artists and DJ in India under the Psytrance category by the prestigious VH1 My Favorite Awards, India's biggest, as you know. He has been a constant on lineups for various festivals like Sunburn, Mountain Madness, VH1 Supersonic, and more. His project, while is focusing majorly on producing and playing night psychedelic music, grooving bass lines with complex arrangements and forest elements, is how you can define his sets as while. Well, he also is producing melodic morning sigh as audiogram. He is none other than DJ Vikrant Rathore, aka Audiogram, aka Vile. How are you, Vikrant? Welcome to the show.
I am Donna. Thank you for having me on the show. Good to see you doing this. And yes, very happy that you are the one taking this interview. I think it's going to be fun.
You. I hope
Yes.
so. I hope so. Well,
Yes.
question one: when did you start to become a DJ? When did you think of becoming a DJ?
Wow. Actually, my journey, if I can remember, it started somewhere in 98.
Okay.
I used to work in a small CD shop part time.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that guy, his name was Gaurav, I still remember. So he had his small setup where, he used to send it for renting and all that stuff. So I was the one taking that setup to all the parties and making sure the driver reaches on time and the wires are taken and all the XLR and all the cables are there. So that was my job to
Okay.
supervise everything. And that's where I actually got hooked onto this DJing part. And then I
Right.
started learning little bit here and there, here and there, here and there. And then that guy also taught me a little bit. Then I had another mentor in my life. His name was Karan. I
Right.
studied from him. And that's how it started for me. I still remember I used to get like 400 rupees per party to play.
Wow.
And but I used to play 20 days a month. Yeah,
Well, I
I'm talking.
think as a child, that's a lot of money back in
Yeah,
98.
yeah. Doing all the wedding parties and all the shadi ki parties, and in the year 98, I remember people didn't know much about what DJs are. It was very
Correct. Correct.
new thing for them, and it was new for me also. It was new for my
Right.
family also. So yeah, that's how it started for me
But
actually.
did you have any struggles back in your family when you told them about DJing?
Uh, well, my parents really didn't give a shit because they didn't know what I'm doing. So they are like, बेटा जो कर रहा है करते रहे, पढ़ता रहे, बस साथ में पढ़ाई मत छोड़ियो अपनी.
Right.
And
Right.
I remember then I wanted to buy a CD player and I told my parents and that's when they freaked out. They're like, अच्छा पैसे भी चाहिए तेरे को इसके लिए. So, that's when my grandmother came into picture, my
Mm-hmm.
dadi, the rescuer. She gave me, I still remember, I think 30,000 rupees or something she gave me that time. मैंने कहा, ये ले.
Right.
And then I bought a second hand used T series के प्लेयर होते थे दो जिनमें पिच कंट्रोल भी नहीं था वो खरीदे एक पता नहीं कौन सा जेमिनाई का मिक्सर या न्यूमा का कोई पुराना मिक्सर वो खरीदा और मिनी टोन्स एक स्पीकर होते थे
Right.
वो खरीदे दो और वो सारा सेटअप मैंने घर पे लगा लिया and that's how I started practicing and then I got my first solo gig
Right.
and
As a
my
professional
first solo
DJ.
as a
Proper.
professional. I mean, इससे पहले भी I was doing professional DJing, but
Yeah.
it was very local type parties that I was doing, and I was not really playing to be there. I was just covering up for the main DJ, playing कुछ
Right.
भी
Right.
non-stop CD लगा दी and that kind of stuff. But this was my first gig where I had my own collection of music. I remember I had this big ice box thermacol का in which I had 20 or 30 CDs. Uh, and I took them to the party carrying that big thermocol box. And this party was somewhere in Delhi only.
Okay.
It was a big failure because I was thrown out of the party. I
Why?
froze. Yeah, because I froze on the stage when everybody started dancing. I only had 20 or 30 CDs with me. I didn't know what to do next. I kept repeating the same song again and again. The organizers were very fed up. They eventually told me to shut my system and get out of the party. So I was totally broken. I was like, man, this is not for me. This is not going to happen. And that's when I just gave up on it. But since I had already bought the equipment at home, I started
Right,
practicing more.
right, right.
And then after a year and a half, I got another party, and that was a major hit.
Oh,
That's
thank
when
God.
I got paid for that.
Okay, so the
So
previous one you didn't get paid for eventually.
of course, no, I thank God I didn't have to pay them from my own pocket because I actually ruined their party, and I was so overconfident. I never took any other DJ with me. All were boys.
Right.
वो टेम्पो वाले ट्रक वाले एंड द सीडी प्लेयर दैट आई वाज यूजिंग वाज द टी सीरीज सीडी प्लेयर एक सीडी बजती थी फिर वो एकदम से जैसे जैसे उसका वो क्यू आ रहा है आई यूज्ड टू प्रेस द अदर वन एंड स्टॉप द अदर वन एंड मिक्स इट क्विकली so that was it so
Oh
for me that
God.
was super technology for that was super technology I was like wow I'm playing on cd players and fancy दो लगा रखे एक भी नहीं दो cd player yeah so that's how it started for me.
Okay. Which year was this when you got your solo gig?
This was I think 98 99 because 98 I remember I started working with this guy called Gaurav. I worked
Right,
with him
right.
for a year or so and then I bought my equipment and then I got my party. So yeah, I think must have been the same year.
Same
Then
year.
I took a break. Then I took a break and I studied more and then I got a job with I started with Sunny Sarit.
Right.
He was
Yeah.
my first actual mentor who I worked with.
Okay.
Um taught me a lot. I was playing a lot of retro music, a lot of Bollywood stuff, a lot of pop, old stuff, which I really enjoyed, because that was some good music to the ears and people were dancing to. And then I got my first job, I think in the year 2000, it was in Dublin,
Right.
which earlier used to be Ghungroos.
Guru.
It has just,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it had just converted into Dublin. So I was the resident DJ there. So that's when I got
Right.
exposure to the real people, real party people, real crowd coming in and partying every weekend.
Right.
And yeah, then I went to Calcutta. Sunny Sarit sent me to Calcutta. I opened a club there called Virgos,
Right.
but I think
That's
that
where
was
we
later
met.
down in. That's where we also met.
Exactly.
So, but I don't remember the year clearly. So
2005.
2005.
2004.
So yeah,
2004.
yeah, cause yeah, I think
2005
2004.
February.
Yeah,
2005
uh,
February. When you had just moved to Calcutta around then.
yeah,
5 February. Yes. Yes. I remember
yes, it has to
clearly.
be 2004 because I
No,
remember in 2000
five because I had just started DJing that time in 2004. So
right,
when we met, I told
right,
you I had
right.
just started. So yeah,
I remember that.
2005. Yeah.
So yeah, it has to be 2004, 2005 because when I was playing in Dublin, that's when I wanted to pursue music more. So I went to London and I joined Point
Okay.
Blank.
Right.
So I
Right.
was there in London for almost 2.5 years. I was studying
So this
music there,
happened
my
before
production.
your before moving to Calcutta,
Calcutta,
or
yeah, before moving
okay.
to Calcutta.
Right. Right.
And then when I came back to Calcutta, obviously Sunny told me to join him back again.
Right.
And so I was a little bit more groomed in terms of my music, in terms of my knowledge. So he gave me this responsibility. Okay, go now. You go to Calcutta, handle this new club.
Right.
So I was in Calcutta for almost I don't know a year and a half, 2 years, living in this five-star
Yeah.
hotel. For 2 years, I was living in that suite. So it was quite an experience for me. And then after Calcutta, I came back to Delhi. I joined Dublin again, and that's when I met Akil.
Right.
I was actually playing in Calcutta in Tantra. I remember. I still remember that day in Tantra. I was playing, and Akhil came up to me and he's like, "Bro, really good music." Because I was doing my scratching, I was doing my turntable uh, tricks. I was trying to be cool, and it was all working out for me. So Akhil saw that, and he's like, "I'm opening a club in Bombay. I would love you to come there and take control of the club
Right,
and be there as a resident DJ." I was like, wow, fantastic. For me as a beginner, Akhil coming to me and offering me a job, it was like a dream come true.
right, right. And
But
I think,
but for a but for a year he vanished. Then there was no touch with him. And then suddenly after a year, I get a call from him. Okay, bro, the club is ready. Are you ready? I said, I'm ready. He sent me the tickets. He sent me everything, and then I went to Bombay. I was there with him in Poison. I think it
one of
was
the
one
best
of
clubs
the
in,
in India, definitely yes. It is still one of the best clubs. I've not seen a better club than that Abhi Tak. The way it was managed, the kind of artists they were getting, and I was getting a full power exposure there.
right,
In
right,
terms of music, in terms of making clients, in terms of meeting people, be it high profile, high society guys, be it normal common people like us. I was interacting with everybody. So that
right,
was a good experience for me. And
right,
then after 2 years, roadies happened while I was in Bombay.
right,
And then I went to roadies. I came back from roadies. Obviously, that hype was there, whatever. So I started playing a lot of solo gigs, doing a lot of freelance work. But still, I was
right,
playing a lot of commercial music, Bollywood music,
right.
hip hop. I loved hip hop. I used to play hip hop a lot. In fact,
I
I
know.
was known. I was known to play hip hop music. So yeah. And
Right.
then one day, you know, I started getting introduced to psychedelic music, electronic music in general, and that's when my attention went into producing and playing that form of music. And
Right,
now it's been
right.
almost 12 years, maybe more. I've been playing that music, and I still love Bollywood. But as a professional, I have I'm not being playing that genre at all because I have
Right,
been
right,
very much satisfied with the kind of music I'm playing now.
right. So
So
what
yeah,
music did you start with? As in, what were your genres of music?
when I started DJing,
Yeah, from then until now. What were your genres of music?
everything. I remember my first CD was Venga Boys. Yeah, that time when it
Brazil?
released. Oh, I played that song left, right, and center. I used to mix that song with I don't know Barbie Girl and what not, and God, and then all these Punjabi Bali Sagu remixes and all the old Punjabi numbers, Hindi remixes. I mean, whatever was good to the ears, I
Right,
was
right,
playing. But when I went into the club scene, when I
right.
went on to the bigger dance floors, uh, that's when I started getting attracted to a lot of hip hop. And I anyways, when I came back from London, I had a lot of records with me. I had a lot of hip hop. I
Correct,
still have
correct.
all my records. All my hip hop collection was there. So I started spinning them. Started playing hip hop, and that's when I grew into more of electronic side of music.
When did you
So that's how it.
start with your turntables? I know your turntablist, but when did you start that journey?
This is when I came back from London. Because in London, I got exposed to turntablism
Okay,
quite a
okay,
bit. I was
okay.
hanging out with these DJs who were like super swift with their moves and doing. So I was hanging out with them quite a lot. And in Point Blank in my studio, I had access to turntables, so I used to go practice there quite a bit. And when I
Right,
came back,
right,
I did few competitions also. I didn't win them, but I was in the top three most of the time.
right.
So that's how I got into turntablism and started doing that. So every club I was playing, I used to make sure that I have a turntable with me because I was more comfortable with records than on CDs, to be honest.
Okay, okay.
And yeah, then came CDs because music grew, but my
Right.
record collection was still the same. So I was kind of left behind when it came to fresh music. I wasn't really updating my record collection. It was hard to get records that time in India, and it
Yeah,
was very
yeah,
expensive.
yeah.
So I couldn't afford spending like 2,000 rupees on a record. So obviously,
Right,
then
right.
slowly, the turntable things faded away because
And
I
you
had to
shifted
bring
to
in CDs.
CDs.
Then I shifted to CDs, and then when production started happening, then I shifted to Ableton.
Right,
Then I slowly started playing on performing on Ableton, and till now it's been 13 years. I've been just playing on Ableton, making music on Ableton.
right.
I've recently shifted back to CDs because I find it a little bit more hassle free because CDs is very random. Ableton, you still have to do some homework, before you go to a
Right,
gig.
right.
You have to. For me now, CDs is just pen drive. You take your pen drive and you go and you play
It's a
music.
small little thing. You just go and plug in and just play. There's no
It's it's
hassle.
it's ha- it's hassle free. But if I'm doing a live set and if I'm doing something more complex,
Right. Then you
then
prefer
of then
Ableton, of course.
then definitely prefer Ableton. Yes.
Right, right. Tell us about your most memorable performance till date.
Most vulnerable performance.
Memorable
Oh,
performance.
my most memorable performance till date. Oh my God, there are actually quite a few. I think the most memorable performance has to be EDC,
Right.
the festival when I played there. I was one of the only few psychedelic DJs who were invited on the Psytrance stage. We had big names there, and I
Right.
remember it was me, Starlab, and Spinal Fusion. We were the only three Indian guys to play there,
Right.
so it was quite
Right.
memorable for me. And then my first VH1 Supersonic performance was quite memorable. I played for them few times. Then my
Right.
first Sunburn performance was still quite memorable when I was playing on the main stage of that
Right.
festival. Apart from that, few festivals that I've done recently, I must include Lebanon. I was playing, I think 3 years ago, I was in Beirut. I was doing a
Right.
festival there. That has to be one of the most memorable because I think they are the most nicest people I've come across.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, few memorable ones. Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about your achievements and awards.
I have few, yeah. I'm participating in these competitions that used to happen, and few few given by the club to me for my excellent performance. That's about it. Not many awards to be honest. Yeah, and one VH1 award for the best Psytrance DJ in India also I got.
Oh wow.
Uh, I-
Okay.
yeah, that as well.
So what made you go to roadies? I mean, why that journey from your DJing? What inspired you?
Man, what inspired me? I really thought it was fun. I used
Okay.
to watch roadies and I really found it interesting that time because I'm a biker guy. I love to ride. You know,
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah.
I I still have my bike. I haven't sold it. I still take it out. I still not still. I mean, the last time I went was 4 years ago. But before 4 years, I go to travel to Ladakh, Spiti, or Goa or whatever. I just take my bike and I run off. So this whole roadies thing was quite interesting for me. So I was like, okay, why not? You know, and I was in Bombay that time, so I used to see Nikhil coming to our club and playing, and I used to ask him about the roadies he was judging roadies that time.
Right,
So I
right.
used to ask him. I used to ask him. I said, "Listen, bro, I really want to come to your show." So he said, "Yeah, don't talk to me about the show. You just fill in your form and come." I said, "I just want to know, like, yeah." So he was very professional in that front, yeah, and which I
Right.
appreciate.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
so I was like,
exactly.
"Yeah, thank." So then I went to Delhi. I filled up the form and I just went there with my form. My form got accepted. I was in the line for maybe an hour or two. I went into the group discussion. I cleared the first group discussion. I was like, okay. Then I cleared the second group discussion. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
okay. And then we were sent home. And then I lost hope because I never heard from them for a week. Then suddenly
Okay.
after a week, I get a call that I've been selected for the personal interview round. I was like, wow. And then I went for the personal interview round, and I was the only guy from Delhi to get selected. And I
Right.
still couldn't believe it that time. I said, man, तो सही हो गया यार, मतलब तुक्के तुक्के में फॉर्म भरा, तुक्के तुक्के में कर लिया और मैं select भी हो गया हूँ. Then I was like, what to do now? So then of course we waited for a month,
Right.
and then after the month the journey began. I was there.
Wow.
I had fun. I had fun. I did exactly what I had thought. I was riding my bike throughout from one city to another, and doing these crazy tasks and being among 13 uh, I don't know if I should call them idiots, but 13 people that I couldn't be in one room with. So I was in that situation. So that really tested my patience, ki how I'm going to survive. But yeah, it was fun. And then once roadies got over, I was back to my normal life. I was back to my DJing. I was doing what I was doing. And
Right, right,
yeah, now roadies is like a very sweet memory to me. It's amazing.
correct,
I
correct.
think I'm lucky that I was on the show.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Any incident during live shows? Have you been doing live shows during this whole COVID times?
I just went live once, to be honest.
Okay.
Many people approached me for a live set, but I always said no because I really felt that there are a lot of people who are really suffering,
Correct.
who are dying, you
Right.
know. And fine, I understand the logic that you are going to make somebody smile by going live. Somebody is going to listen to your music and be happy.
Right.
Man, if they want to be happy, they should go watch a comic series, man. I mean, we are in a world crisis, and I don't want to go live right now and just show them that, listen, hey, I have so much to give you right now. I mean,
Correct.
instead, I did something else. I was helping people around, which I never showed. I never put it online. I did my
Right.
job in that front,
Correct. Correct.
which I thought was important at that time. Also, the second reason what I realized was that everybody is going live. You know why?
Correct.
And they are that made me think, is what is it? I mean, when you are going live for an audience, you are charging lakhs of rupees. Now you're doing it for free. Why?
That actually makes sense. But again, there are people, one like me, who needs a little sanity in life where music really helps.
Yeah, that's true. But my concept was different. It's not even the money, It's I mean, I do a lot of free stuff still. But at that time, my whole idea was ki we are in such a mess, and
Correct.
how can I expect myself to just go live and people dancing at my music? And while there are tens of people who are dying, and I know personally people who are on my Facebook whose father and mother have expired,
Right.
and
Right.
thinking of that I am connected to such people who are in grief, I don't want to go live. It's not what I want to do
Right.
at
Right.
that
I
moment of
understand.
time.
Correct. Correct.
Now it's not that situation is getting better. We are still but we are still getting there. We are getting in terms with this corona thing. We are getting
Right.
on with our
Right.
normal lives. So now I am going live now on the 13th, but that's a paid event. It's a paid
Right.
ticketed event, and
Where is it happening? You can
it's
promote it on
ha-
our show.
well, it's happening with Skillbox. People can log
Right.
on to Skillbox website and buy tickets. It's me, Starlab, and White Wizard. We are
Right.
doing a live stream. It's a proper legit live stream from a audio visual studio. So it's going to be a visual treat for anybody to watch.
Right.
The ticket is just 300 rupees. You can support us. Some of the money will go for a good cause. Some of the money will, of course, come to us. We also need to pay our bills. We haven't been doing any gigs. So
Right.
yeah, that's it, man. A small initiative now.
Right. Right. Tell us about your proudest moment of your journey.
My
Something that made you
proudest
really proud of
moment,
yourself. Something that
I
made you
think
really proud of yourself.
the day when my parents saw my first gig, and they said, we are proud of you, what you're doing. They said,
Wow.
we never thought that it's going to be like this, and you're going to be so popular because people love you, because they heard people screaming my name in the show, and they
Wow.
were they were like, what, they were screaming your name? I said, of course they were screaming my name. so
When and where was this?
so
When and where was this?
this party happening in Delhi, actually.
Okay. Okay. When was
It
it?
it it
Which
it was
year
a
was
college
it?
festival. It was a college festival. I think it was in 2006, college campus party happening. So I invited
Right.
them to
Right.
the college campus. Yeah. So
Right.
that's where they
Wow.
came and were like, what the hell? So that's one of my proudest moments. Apart from that, I think there are a lot of there are a lot of moments where I have really felt good about what I do. That's the reason I'm still
Right.
doing what I do.
Correct.
It's
Correct.
hard to pinpoint one particular moment.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
What is the most trouble you've gotten into during, during your journey?
Oh God, what is the most trouble I've gotten
You
into?
are a hothead at times, Vikrant.
Man, I can't think of anything like a trouble that I've gone into, but can't think of any. Like there's no such memory where I've. Well, yeah, one incident I remember. I was playing this party in Muradabad or Muzaffarnagar, somewhere in UP. I had gone there with all my equipment, and something happened, and the guy I refused me to pay money, and I was with my team, my other guys. So they all चौड़े हो गए उसके आगे कि पैसे क्यों नहीं दे रहे. वो तो पूरी फैमिली गनमन लेके आ गई भाई कि तेरे को यहीं डाल डाल देंगे, यहीं डालें कि वापस जाएगा.
Oh, shit.
I was like, okay, relax the fuck out. They kept our equipment also. They kept our equipment and they made us go. We left. Then the guy from whom I had rented the equipment made some
Huh.
phone calls. Then the police got involved, and that's when they left our equipment. And after I think 3-4 days, our equipment also reached back Delhi. But that was the thing.
Did
They
you get
really
paid
made us
anymore
leave.
or
No, we didn't get paid.
see?
So this is one trouble I
Wow.
remember. Apart from that, yeah, small. I remember New Year party. It was a New Year party in Poison.
Okay.
I went. I was playing and I went on the console. I stood up on the console and I fell down in the crowd. So that was
Was
very
it
very
on purpose?
embarrassing.
Was it?
No, I slipped. I slipped and fell, and there was nobody in the console. So 1 second the DJ is playing, and the music is on, and the other second DJ is gone, and the people are picking me up, and the music has stopped. The music has stopped, and nobody knows where I am. What the hell? I am down, getting up and walking back. I'm like, yeah, I'm back, and then press play again. So yeah, that was quite an embarrassing moment for me. It was fun. Who cares, man? Who cares? It's New Year time. We are drunk. So what? We fell down. So what? Yeah,
Okay. So, what do you
fun.
think about DJing back then and DJing now? The things have evolved, right? So, what's your take on it?
DJing back then was stress free. It
I
was
agree with you.
very cool. It was very nice. There was, I mean, there was still competition, but it was not as bad as it's now. And that time your music spoke for your work.
Correct.
Now, now Instagram and Facebook speaks for your work. That's the biggest difference. No matter how good you are as a professional or how better you are at your work, it doesn't
If the
matter.
numbers don't match,
If the numbers don't
nothing.
match, if the Instagram and Facebook doesn't match, if you don't have comments coming on your post, nobody gives a shit anymore. And that's a sad part. Also, at that time, people were exploring with new DJs. Now it's a lot of groupism. ये तेरा ग्रुप है, ये मेरा ग्रुप है, इस क्लब में सिर्फ यही डीजेस बजाएंगे, उस क्लब में सिर्फ यही डीजेस बजाएंगे, ये इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइजर ये करेगा, वो और इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइजर सिर्फ उन्हीं के साथ काम करेगा. It's like this
It's
big
become like that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Earlier it was not like that, not at all.
Right.
And I still feel earlier it was more easy to get gigs because all you had to do was just go to approach a club or approach an event organizer and he would happily hire you.
Maybe at the max, a
And
small little audition, and then off you go.
oh
Just
yeah,
to see your
auditions.
skills a little bit.
That's the one of the biggest difference. These days there are no auditions.
Yeah. Back then,
It's how
I mean, I
strong your
think even I
Facebook.
had to give an audition. I had to give an audition as
Me
well.
too. I've given so many auditions. Yeah, I remember I was also the resident of Ministry of Sound in Delhi.
Right.
So before joining Ministry of Sound, I had to give 3 separate auditions, and that's when I was selected. While I was joining Sunny, he took a small audition. In any club I went, they took auditions. You know,
Right.
but now, what audition? Your audition is your Instagram and Facebook. Simple as
Instagram,
that.
Facebook,
Make
exactly.
it
Whether you
make
know how to play, don't know how to play. It doesn't matter. The numbers match. That's it.
yeah. So that's the biggest difference I see. But again, we have evolved. This is not going to stop. It's it has its pros and cons.
Correct. Correct.
You Now you have a platform to promote yourself. You have a platform.
Exactly.
You
Earlier,
have
we
a
never had
platform.
that.
Earlier, there was no platform. You couldn't get out so much. You couldn't reach so many people. Now
Correct.
you can
Correct.
reach lakhs of people just by making one post. You are there. So that's a great thing. I don't think there's anything wrong in that at all. But yeah,
Right.
since you
Right.
asked.
So tell us
Yeah.
about your music academy, Adapt. How did you
Yes.
suddenly think of that?
So adapt actually stands for Advanced DJ and Audio Production Training. So
Right.
this idea of teaching was always there with me. I have been teaching for a long time, but it was through my bedroom, my home. Right now in my bedroom, in my house, by the way. So I used to teach from this room, and one day I just thought, why not take it ahead? And that's when that adapt happened. I took up a place on rent. I had some basic stuff. I put that basic stuff in that place, started getting students. They were happy. I had some vision in my head. I started working on that vision, and now it's almost three years now that we have completed. We have been very successful, touch wood, thank God to that. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying teaching. It's a more professional space for me.
Right.
I always wanted my bedroom and my studio to be separate, and now it is. I have a separate studio where I go, where I wake up in the morning. I go, and I have a place to sleep when I come back home, which is my bedroom. I am not mixing my work and
Correct.
my
Correct.
space time, so which is
Right.
great, and it keeps me more busy, and I'm helping. So I'm not helping, I would say. I'm in a position to guide people, and
Correct.
which really gives me the motivation to learn more,
Right.
because i
Right.
think i think in the last 3 4 years I have gained so much knowledge because I am imparting so much knowledge. So it
Right.
has it has forced it has forced me to read more books, go online, research about things, research about different topics, because technology is growing, and I need to keep these
Correct.
kids updated with the technology, so that way I am also growing with them.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so that way adapt has helped me a lot, and yeah, it's my baby, man. It's sad that from the last 6 months we are shut, but we
Yeah.
are opening back. We are opening back on the 20th now.
Right. So
So
are you opening
we'll be
back your school or are you doing an online?
so online is already going on. All these five
Okay.
6 months I have, yes, online. We have been doing workshops with international faculty,
DJs and
international
artists.
instructors,
Right.
the artists, DJs. It's still going on, and I'm taking my personal students also online. So thank God, some
Right.
kind of money has been coming in for me. I've been able
Right.
to pay my bills on time. Thank God for that. But now it's time to get back, adapt,
Right. Right.
and we are
What
start
what music?
we are
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
no. I was just saying we are just starting from the DJ room now, and after
Right.
a week or 2 weeks, we'll switch on the production room. We'll see how it goes. Yeah,
Okay. So what music do you teach and adapt? Is it
everything,
all kind of genres or it's
everything.
just particularly?
It's everything in adapt. People have been coming there, and they've been making hip hop, R&B, experimental EDM, even Punjabi music. We have a special faculty for just to teach Punjabi music, like all this new age Punjabi stuff we are teaching, and psychedelic, of course, is a major part of our course curriculum.
Right.
But it's not restricted to psychedelic. When it comes
Correct.
to production, it's all forms of music, from music theory to instrumentation to understanding how your different emotions work, how to write different kind of beats, ranging from
Right.
whatever genre you really want to process. So it's all there as a whole.
Right. So Vikram, one question: how did you think of audiogram and why AU/D10/gram?
Wow. Okay. uh, so there's a story behind it, by the way.
I know.
i
Our
I
viewers
think
want to know. No.
uh, 10 years ago, I had an issue with my ear.
Okay.
So I went to the doctor, and he did a test called audiogram test. It's spelled as AUDIOGRAM.
Right.
That's the spelling. So he did my
Right.
audiogram test, and we found out that my high frequencies are dying because of excessive
Volumes.
music and all. So my left
Right.
ear's high frequencies are a little low.
Right.
So I was like, ये audiogram test है तो ले ली भाई. ये क्या कर दिया इस टेस्ट ने मेरे साथ. So that's when this whole audiogram thing came in. So this audiogram, what I have now with me, or I am with this, it makes sense to me. So if you read it, it's written as AU/D10/gram.
Right.
Now you pronounce it as audiogram. Now AU stands for audio units. That's the
Right.
universal language for audio units.
Right.
D10. D is digital. 10 is binary. That's the universal
Right.
code for binary.
Right.
And gram is derived from the word program. So basically, programming audio in the digital binary world. And that's what I'm doing. I'm making
Wow.
music on computers. I'm making electronic music. So this is what it represents.
Wow. And what about Vial?
So,
Your
while is
alter
my
ego.
alter ego is while. While is more a serious psychedelic, more intense, more forest, more underground stuff for some serious listeners. And why
Right.
vial? Because you know what a vial is. Like vial is a small bottle.
Right.
कभी तुमने देखा होगा कोई जैसे कोई डॉक्टर इंजेक्शन जिसमें से भरता है वो बोतल जो होती है इंजेक्शन भरने वाली
Yeah.
वो वाइल
It's a
होती है.
Vial. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a vial. So I thought that all life-saving things come in a vial. All
Okay.
mind-opening things come in a vial. All things magical come in a vial.
Vial.
So, and I was like, this music, what I'm doing, I hope it can enlighten
Right.
somebody's mind. So that's how vial came into existence. Chote packet mein dhamaka type.
Right. So tell us the difference
Yeah.
between audiogram and Vial's music.
So audiogram is more with melodies, a little bit more slower BPM. You
Right.
can it's in the range of progressive and full on, right?
Right.
Whereas while is more faster BPM, it's more intense, it's more darker,
Right. Okay.
right? And audiogram is more on the happier side of music. But now, in fact, I have been contemplating because I've been making a lot of music with different elements. So I am now thinking of combining all my projects into audiogram and
Right.
making whatever music I'm making, be it 120 BPM or be it 170 BPM, whatever range of music I'm making, I want to release it as audiogram.
Okay.
Period.
So where will Vial
I'm
go
thinking,
then?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I scrap while maybe I don't. I don't know. It depends. It depends on my mood actually. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
Because
have you ever?
because at the
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
at the end of the day, it's all about getting the music out. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah. And also one thing, if I have two projects now, I've realized with time, I've been working with two projects for quite a long time. It's a task to be socially active with two projects. I
That
have to
is.
keep,
I agree with that.
and
You have to keep posting here and there and here and there.
I am very bad at keeping this social media presence.
So
I hate it. I hate it, to be honest. I only post about my work, and that also I'm lazy to. नहीं हो पाएगा.
even I kind of struggle, but I'm kind of getting there,
So
with social media
so that
thingy.
is actually one reason I just want to keep one project so that I have one page and everything is accessible through that one page.
So you
Simple.
post something here and it's all back to back on your other
Or
social
back to
medias.
on yeah, बस एक और कुछ नहीं. And whoever wants to book me, then they can book me as audiogram and they can tell me what kind of music they want me to play. Simple.
And you can
If they
always,
want my
exactly, you can always,
yeah, if they want a live set which is more darker, they can tell me. They can slot me according to that. If they want a live set which is more happier, then they can tell me that also. There are a lot of artists who have one project and they are making variety of music.
correct. Right.
And then there are also a lot of artists who have various projects and they are making various styles of music. Works for everyone. It depends what works for you at the end.
Correct. Correct. Right. So have you ever dealt
Yeah.
with performance anxiety?
Oh yeah, all the time. even now.
Really?
Yeah. I'm always nervous. So that this anxiety is only till there, till the time I don't hit the play button.
Okay.
The
And then what
moment,
happened?
the moment I press play, I'm in a very meditative state, because that is the time when I'm actually not thinking about anything else. What is
Anything else?
meditation? Meditation tells you that
Clearing your
you
mind.
focus on your breathing, right? Why they tell you to focus on your breathing? Because so that you don't think about anything else.
Correct.
It's important. It's impossible to be blank. The only time you'll be blank is when you're dead. Otherwise, your
Right.
mind will work.
Correct. Correct.
So, so when I'm playing music or when I'm making music, it's my meditative state, because that time I'm only thinking about my dance floor. So all my
Right.
problems, all my other things that are going around me, all issues that have ever happened in my life, they don't come in my head for that 1.5 hour or 2 hours. They are not with me.
Wow.
So that is my most favorite time. But just before I'm starting playing, I'm always thinking, oh my god, I hope it's good. Oh my god, I hope oh अच्छा ये है वो अच्छा मैंने अपने सारी music लेके आया हूँ. Oh my god, what if people don't like it? So my heart is always beating. And the moment I'm on stage, I press play button, all finished. Then I'm a different person. Then
Wow.
I'm a completely different person. Yeah, it's like
So
that.
you play only your music when you perform, or is do you?
No, when I'm playing a DJ set, I'm mixing other people's music. I'm curating a set.
Correct.
You
So
know,
how do you select your music? How do you select your music?
whatever is good to the ears.
Now,
Simple. There's
this is
no
for your
other.
this is for your viewers, who are also very new in the field.
Huh.
So people like
So
them.
see Donna, it really depends. Yeah. For example, you need to first know where are you going to play.
Correct.
Are you going to play as a solo artist? Then your selection depends on that. Are
Right.
you playing? Are you playing as an opening DJ? Then your selection depends on that. Are you playing a closing DJ? Then your selection depends on that. Are you playing in a
Correct.
festival? Then who is
You
playing
select
before you?
accordingly.
Because in festival there is no opening closing DJs. In a
Right.
festival,
Whoever
it's
plays
a
before after. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's a whole story which goes on. Then you have to select according to that. But
Yeah.
when it comes to psychedelic, this genre, what I'm talking about, I just play what I uh, I feel is good to the ears, and it will make the audience move.
Right. Right.
If I'm playing if I'm doing a live set, then I don't care what my time is, because that's the time I play my own music. I don't care if people like or don't like. It's my music. It's my live. It's my live session. What time I'm playing also doesn't matter, because it's live. People who are coming
Right.
there, they know that I'm playing live. That's why they have bought the tickets, and that's why they are there to listen to me. But if I'm
Correct.
playing a DJ set, if I'm playing after or before somebody, then I sit at home, I curate a playlist, I build up a story, how I
Right.
want the dance floor, and I always research on my music. I keep sharing music. It's very important to be upgraded with your music. I try to play a lot of unreleased stuff that people haven't heard before, or that people who cannot Shazam it, you know. So I try to keep music fresh, even if it's not
Right.
my music, even if it's somebody else's music. I do my research, I do my homework, and that's how I make my sets simple.
Right. Right. So how do you feel the internet has impacted the music business? What's your take?
Oh, a lot, yeah. Internet is the bread and butter provider for everyone now. If internet goes away, I don't know what we're gonna do. How are we gonna sell our music? How are people gonna download music in the first place?
Right.
द- वो सीडी वाले प्लैनेट एम वाला जमाना गया. You know
वापस आया तो
when you used to go to huh? अरे I'll be
वापस आ
more than
गया
happy.
तो
Wait, what? My camera is falling.
yeah.
You see this little penguin at the back? Say hello to the
Yeah.
penguin.
Yeah. It's on the other
Huh.
side.
It's on the other side. Here it is. Can you see it now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
my cat also sleeping down there. Uh,
If you have to start DJing from scratch, then how do you think you're going
hmm.
to start? Like, say now, if you have to start DJing, How would you
Now,
take
if I have to
things
start
forward?
DJing, I keep giving my students keep asking me what to do and how to do. So my only suggestion to them is, guys, make your sets first of all. The first step towards starting a career is to make content,
Right.
and your content is your sets. Make different moods of music, 1 hour, 1.5 hour, 2 hours. That's your step number one. Step number two, you have made your sets. Now people need to listen to it. So you have to start posting it.
Right.
Step number three, if you're posting your set, it's a package, it's a product. You need to market yourself. Come up with a nice creative for your set. So that it's visually appealing, because आज की डेट में जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. That is true.
Correct. Correct. Very true.
So if you are not appealing in your visuals in selling your sets or coming online, nobody will give a shit, because there are 10,000 DJs who are posting music and nobody gives a shit. Why? Because we don't remember them. You are
Right.
not you are not somebody like a big star like a Tiesto or Armin van Buuren, that you post one set and millions likes will come. You are somebody new, so you need to be attractive, both with your
Right.
music and with your presentation. The
Right.
fourth most important step is go and ask people, connect with promoters, connect with organizers. Now people tell me, यार मेरी तो कोई नेटवर्क नहीं है, मैं तो किसी प्रमोटर को जानता नहीं, मैं तो किसी को जानता नहीं. हाँ, तो हम भी जान के पैदा नहीं हुए थे, और कोई जान के पैदा नहीं होता. The best and easiest way to do is you see so many gigs happening on Facebook.
Right.
Just go to the event page and see who the organizer is,
And just connect.
who's hosting the event, and just
Right.
send him a message. क्या होगा, ज्यादा से ज्यादा क्या होगा, मना कर देगा,
मना कर
या
देंगे.
जवाब ही नहीं
Exactly.
देगा, he will not respond. 50 लोगों को मैसेज करोगे, उसमें से 2 तो रिप्लाई करेंगे.
Very true.
और अगर उन 2 ने रिप्लाई कर दिया तो मतलब दे आर इंटरेस्टेड. जाओ, मिलो, टेल देम दैट यू वांट टू प्ले इन दैट पार्टी. maybe they don't offer you money at the very first time, because you won't get paid. Yeah, who are you? You're nobody has trust on you, nobody trusts you. So why will they pay you? What if you screw up the party? They have never heard of you. So start doing these parties, because your name will come on the creative, your name will come on the flyer,
Correct.
and that is also content. Now when you do certain parties like this, first of all you have made connection with your organizer. Now he trusts you because you were there for him. You played for half of the money, or you played maybe for free, but that doesn't mean you're going to play always for free. That you have to be very straight with the organizer. Listen, I will, maybe if I want to do a gig for free, I will do it for free, but this is not going to be everlasting affair. This is
Right.
just
Maybe
so
a
that
one
we
or two
build.
initially.
Yeah, this is so that we build trust, because I am new in the scene. Now
Right.
once you have those creatives with you, then you have a profile. Then you can make a Facebook page, because till now you don't even have a Facebook page, because you have nothing to put on a Facebook page apart from your mixes.
Right.
Right now till now, the only thing you have put on your Facebook page are your mixes, जिस पे तुम्हें 20-25 likes आ रखे हैं maximum. But once you start putting creatives of venues, of your name being there on the creative, then when you approach organizers, then the loop begins again. Then you start approaching organizers again, but this
Correct.
time with a different intention. This time being a
Right.
professional, because when he's going to log on to your page, he's going to see that you have done some work,
Right.
and then you charge him the money. Then you tell him, this is my fee, this is what I'm going to charge. I am not somebody new, I'm doing this shit. So
Right.
that's how the ball will start rolling. This is how the ball will start rolling for you, and your contacts will increase. It's a time taking process. It might take a year, it might take 2 years, but क्या जल्दी है, तुम्हें कहाँ भागना है? करो. You have come in the music profession. Why? To get rich. If you're coming in the music profession to get rich, my buddy, this is not the place for you.
Very true.
You will get
Very
rich.
true.
You will. Money will come, but eventually.
Initially, it's just a struggle period of getting to know people and your content and
Yeah.
everything else.
Yes.
That's the main thing, when people come to this profession for the wrong reasons. Name,
Yep.
fame,
They think
money.
it's going to be cool. They're going to be ladies around them. I'm going to be getting free drinks. Well, they don't survive for too long.
Exactly,
They don't
exactly. And
survive
it's
for too
so
long.
important for them to understand why you are in this field,
Yep.
you know?
Yep. And the attitude needs to be right. You can't pretend to be a sorry, abuse my language, but you can't pretend to be a superstar DJ in your first or second or third gig. You can't start demanding things and throwing tantrums and stuff like that. Attitude is very important because you are working with people, you are working with humans, you're working with real people who have been doing this stuff for a long time. You have just come now. You should
Right,
be
very
thankful
true.
that you're getting a gig. You should be thankful to them.
Because the
So
competition has gone so far and wide that it's
yeah,
difficult,
man, yeah. I mean, if you give them grief, they will never work with you again. And this
Very
industry is
true.
small that the word spreads like this.
Correct, very true. Like good words
So
spread,
attitude is very yes.
the good words take a little less time
Humble
to
attitude.
spread, and the bad ones are very quick.
Yes. That's
Oh, hello there.
meet Bella. That's Bella, by the way.
Hi, Bella.
Uh,
I will
she's a
tell you ciao
rescued cat.
when we hang up.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Vikrant, rapid fire questions.
Oof. Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay,
Bella,
now
are you ready? Bella is
the
ready too. Okay.
now the first question is, tell me who inspired you to become a DJ. Who was your biggest
A lot of
inspiration?
them. A lot of people.
Go
There,
ahead.
I cannot name one. I cannot name one. And the
Go
biggest
ahead.
inspiration was myself. Myself, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think because my will to learn from everybody was my inspiration.
Right.
And those people that whom I was learning from were also my inspiration. So collectively, all of them. But if you talk about one person, I myself is my inspiration. That's what I
Right.
feel.
Well, it's a good thing. I mean, if
Yep.
you don't inspire yourself, no one else will. So why not?
Yep. Yep.
So, okay. Um, three things nobody knows about you.
Then why should I tell it here?
That's the thing.
Then everybody will know about it. Okay. Three things that nobody knows about me. The first thing that I love khichdi. It's one of my favorite food that nobody
Okay,
knows
ladies,
apart from my
keep a note.
family.
Keep a note, ladies.
uh, the second thing is I hate the color yellow.
But you love khichdi. Wow.
But I love khichdi, but I hate the color yellow. And the third thing that people don't know about me would be I can be quite an asshole sometimes. I think people know about it actually. I think that's something people
So
know.
what's
People
the
who know
third
me,
thing
they know.
then?
They know.
So what's the third thing then?
So, oh God, that I don't know. I can't think of the third thing. Yeah. Oh my God, these rapid fires. This is so crazy. Uh, oh yeah, that I've recently started doing yoga.
Isn't it really good though? I love yoga.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I love
but
yoga.
people don't know about it because I don't talk about it.
Well,
So
now
yeah,
people know about it.
no, well, yeah,
Okay, three qualities that a DJ must have.
must possess.
Yeah. Like it's required to be a DJ, you know?
Quality number one. Quality number one is your attitude,
Right.
right? Quality number two is your will to improve your skill,
Right.
and quality number three is perseverance. You cannot let go of it. So have the right attitude, work towards your skill because everybody has skill. It can be improved. Skill is something that can be improved.
Correct.
So work on your skill and have perseverance, have focus, and don't leave what you're doing. It will be great.
Right. One thing you would like to change in the industry.
One thing I would like to change in the industry. I don't know, man. There's nothing in particular. Yeah, I would like to. I would like the industry to have a union. You know, a
Right.
union where people get paid on time. A union or a grievance center where artists can go and complain or write down their grievances or raise concerns. Right
And
now,
it's
we have
taken
nothing
care
like
of,
that in the industry. Every industry has it.
Right,
Sorry.
right. And it's taken care of. Like for
So,
now,
uh,
even if you go and tell somebody
yeah,
something, it's like it just takes time and just lays around in the corner. So yeah.
because what do we work for at the end of the day? We want to earn honest money. That's what we
Correct.
work in. We work because this is our passion, and we have converted our passion into profession. And if our money only is not getting paid on time, then who do we go shout to? What do
Correct.
we do?
Very true.
Yes, we can do a legal recourse, but who's drafting contracts? There are very few people who are drafting contracts, and so there has to be a central, like a like a, I don't know what to name it, but a group of individuals from the industry who make legal documentation necessary for every event, every organizer, and there has to be a blacklist which is actually followed. There is a blacklist on Facebook, but who cares? There is nothing legal
Exactly.
about it.
Yeah.
There is
Right.
there has to be a legal foundation. So I think this is something which really needs to come in the industry.
Right. A piece of advice you wish you had got, during your starting days as a DJ.
The piece of I never took
Something
advices
you wish you
actually.
had.
I
Wrong
if
question.
I would have if I would have taken advices, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Well,
So yeah,
okay.
if
Okay.
I would have taken advice, I wouldn't be here. So I am very happy where I am. So there is no advice that I would want. But since you asked the question, what piece of advice I wish I had gotten, uh, I think it would be an advice to stay vegetarian for the rest of my life.
Are you one now?
No, I'm
Have
still a
you changed?
non-vegetarian. Huh?
You kind of gave me a shock. Stay vegetarian, okay.
I am still non-vegetarian, but there are certain months in my year where I become totally vegetarian. It's when I'm
Mhm.
fasting. So
Wow.
those are the best days of my life, to be honest, when I'm vegetarian. And then I turn back to be eating non-vegetarian because I just love the food. What to do? Oh, phone also went out. Oh my god.
It's okay. It's gonna be edited. वैसे-
Oh, ha. Am I back in frame? I'm back in frame. Okay.
Did
Yeah.
you say
So
I
yeah.
love the food when you
Oh, what the hell? Huh? What is happening? I just won't trip in.
tripod?
Yeah. Yeah, this tripod is maybe
Amazon
it's gonna slip
tripod, na?
again. Okay, it's stable now. I think it's slipping, it's slipping, it's slipping, it's not slipping
No,
anymore.
it
Okay.
won't slip.
Yeah.
It won't slip.
So
Okay.
many times, yeah, I'm playing music and people are coming. भाई कुछ vocals वाला तो लगा दो. इसमें
Vocal.
तो कुछ गाए. हाँ, इसमें तो कुछ कोई गा ही नहीं रहा है. ये तो ढिच्चिक ढिच्चिक ही चला रहा है. हमें तो समझ नहीं आ रहा है ये क्या हो रहा है. तो फिर देन आई माय रिप्लाई यूज्ड टू देन वो साथ वाली जगह पे आपको समझ आएगा वहाँ क्या हो रहा है. वो आप लोगों के लिए जगह वही बनी है. आप वहाँ जाइए. What to tell them? I don't know what to tell them anymore. So yeah.
three
Huh.
three words describe a DJ's life.
Okay. If you want to know the three superficial things that describe a DJ life, the three superficial things are a lot of glamour around you, uh, lots and lots and lots of free alcohol and free food around you, and lots and lots and lots of free tickets and free passes to festival around you. Those are the
Now
three
the real
superficial
deal.
things.
Now the real deal.
Now the real deal would be constant struggle that will never end. Even if you reach the top, the struggle becomes even more real.
Right.
The more you become popular, the more you become known, the more you have to put out, the more people expect from you. So the struggle never ends. Second, it's a constant relationship with your social media network. You will get in trouble in your personal life. You might get in trouble with your girlfriend. You might get trouble with your boyfriend, but you cannot get in trouble with your social media life. That is something that you are able to deal with for the rest of your life now, because you are in such a profession. Third thing would be, uh, I think most of the time you really compromise on your health, because your sleep pattern goes for a toss, your eating
Right.
habits go for a toss. So that is the price you have to pay for them. So this is the price you have to pay for glamour, for free passes, free tickets, and free drinks and
And free
alcohol.
alcohol.
Yes, so this is the price you pay. But
Okay.
apart from that, there are also other three very important things that come to being not a DJ, but being a professional, a profession that you like, is satisfaction,
Guaranteed.
content and peace, and a beautiful night's sleep when you come home after a gig.
Whether be it
So
morning or
these
night. Beautiful
doesn't
sleep.
matter. That doesn't matter. You still have a beautiful sleep because you're happy. You sleep happy
Right.
most
Very
of the
true.
time,
Very
at least.
true.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Vikram, an unforgettable pickup line someone used on you. I know for a
Nobody.
fact there are plenty. Come on, don't.
No,
Don't
yeah,
say it.
no, but nobody is using any pickup lines on me.
Used. Maybe in the past. अगर अभी नहीं है तो.
No,
Come
no,
on.
no, no, really. I can't. Oh, let me think.
कुछ तो होगा.
None of my ex girlfriends also used any kind of pickup lines on me, and
Okay, let's
no one. Yeah,
twist it a bit. Anything that you used on a lady.
no, not a pickup line. If I don't know if I mean I've approached women, but it's always been in a very healthy manner. No pickup lines, because I'm not good with these pickup lines and all. Yeah, I can't I can't do this. You know, it's not me. Yeah,
Okay. All right. So what
my
are you
my
working
my
on? Go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, my main pickup line is, hi, what's up? That's the reason no woman wants to come close to me.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything you're working on right now? Any new project you're working on right now?
I'm working on working on 7 new collaborations right now.
Right.
All of them are done. 95% done. The last mixing stage is there, and yeah, music is happening. I keep working on music every day,
When are they
now and
going to
then.
release?
Uh, so now the thing is, with my music, I don't release all my stuff.
Okay.
I do not put my stuff online also. I keep it only for my sets. I only keep it for my live performances. When people come to hear me in a club or for my live set, that's when they get to hear that music. And so that they cannot go online, they cannot find it anywhere. It's just how I work. It's just, and I'm too shy of a person to release my stuff online also. I have many releases outside, but most of my stuff I keep unreleased. I only keep it for people to listen to when they come to my show, because that's the exclusive experience that they get.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We come to the last question. Anything you want to tell our viewers?
Yeah, viewers. I love the viewers. They're amazing.
No,
That's
anything
all
you
I
want
want
to,
to tell them. And
tell all the new
be
generation kids who are becoming a
well
DJ now?
see, the new generation, they are smart enough to know most of the things. The only
Right.
advice for me to give them would be honest in your work, and
Right.
do it with full honesty. Don't expect too much. right now, but just
Right.
expect that you will get satisfaction from it, and that's what your aim should be. Your aim should be to give the audience what they want, and they want music. That's why you have become a DJ. That's why you're coming in the industry. So be honest to your work, be honest to your family, be honest to your friends, and yeah, that's all you need. When once you're honest, you, I guess, get everything else. And apart from that, there's no advice. Yeah, I'm the last person to give them any damn advice. Yeah, they know everything. They're too smart. They're too smart to be told anything. But during this corona times, one advice I would really want to give, because now we have started going out and people are not giving a shit about what is
Right.
happening around us. It's fine, you are young, you are healthy, you are fit, so you don't maybe need to give a shit, but always remember that you have parents at home.
Right. Very true.
You will, so you will have to come back home, and if you are getting this disease, you might survive, and you will survive because your bodies are fit, but your parents bodies are not. And once you pass it on to your older generation people, if something happens to them, you will be responsible for it, nobody else. Corona will not be responsible for it, you will be responsible for it, because you didn't take care of this thing, and you were not precautious enough to be that thoughtful कि यार मैं घर लाऊंगा इस चीज को. So you
Correct.
don't be selfish, be smart enough, take precautions, wear your mask, or try avoid going outside if you don't have to. Don't just go out for parties.
Right.
Now bars and
Mhm.
clubs are open. Don't just start storming the bars and clubs and sharing cigarettes, sharing drinks. This is the worst you can do. So that's, I guess, one advice I would like to give.
Okay. Thank you, Vikrant, for being on our show. It was lovely to
Thank
have
you
you
for having
finally.
me, Donna. Yeah, I know. Finally, we have succeeded. Thank you to Tina also for coordinating this for us.
Yeah.
And thank you in the first place for getting Tina
You're
to coordinate this
welcome.
for us.
Thank you
Yes.
so much. Thanks a lot for being with us. I shall see you
Okay. Bye,
soon.
guys. Yes. See you soon, Donna. And bye, guys. Have fun. And yep. Bye. See you.
Bye. See you.
Bye. Bye.
All right, guys, that was Audiogram for you guys. And well, we have another artist coming next week. So stay tuned, stay healthy, stay safe, and I shall see you next week. Until then, good night and God bless.